you spoken to Lida Harkins since the primary?
I haven't spoken with her personally, no. I have spoken with a number of those close to her, and
Why
sought out
haven't
an
you?
opportunity to speak with her.
Why haven't you?
Look, I know you want to talk only about this.
No, I don't want. I want to get past this, but I think
I
it's
do
important.
too.
And you haven't spoken about it, so
I do too.
let's talk about it. Why haven't you talked to her?
Yeah. Well, I think there are times for everything. And right now, I know that there are hurt feelings. And through other mechanisms, we've made an intent to reach out to her supporters. And I know there will be an opportunity to talk to her as well.
Well, it's sort of standard campaign practice. You lose, you win the thing, you reach out to your opponent because you want your opponent to help you for no other reason. Maybe you're not, and you didn't do that. Why would you not do that?
Look, it's Greg, right?
Yep.
Greg, there are things that have occurred, and I'm not going to get into all the specifics of them, that have made it more complicated to reach out to her individually than I would like, but I continue to make efforts to do so.
So you have tried to.
So you've called her and she didn't return your calls?
I
Is there
have
like
not
a
called
message
her
pad somewhere that says, call for
first of all,
Smulowitz?
can we relax a little bit?
No, actually.
Because each time that I come into the room with you, there's just it's almost like an attacking nature, and I'm not going to sit through that. Okay.
Well,
so let's talk.
We don't have to talk at all, but
it's fine. We can talk.
Okay.
That's what.
Well, you're an hour and a half late, and I got other things to do, and I want to get to this.
I totally understand, and I respect your opinion, and I respect your right to know the facts to it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So again, the reasons that I have not called her individually are my own reasons, and they're based on factors that have occurred. But
well, you just
again,
said you're entitled to know the facts, but you're not telling us the facts.
You're right.
So we're not entitled.
You're entitled to know exactly what's happening, but do you have to know all of my personal thinking on everything?
Well, to me, this issue is not about you and Lida. It's about what kind of leader would you be? What kind of person would you, are you going to be able to reach out to people who disagree with you, or are you not able to reach out to them? Are you able to cooperate with people who maybe in a political skirmish, whether it's a fight over a piece of legislation or whatever, you disagree and things get heated, but then the next day you want to work on the next thing?
You're right.
And
that is exactly what I had intended to do when, for example, when we went to the Democratic State Committee meeting. And, things occurred at that meeting that I was not happy with and not expecting, that perhaps set it back a little bit in terms of the open communication between myself and Representative Harkins. So again, but if you want to talk about steps that I have made, rather than the one step we haven't been able to work out yet, I sat down with her campaign manager 2 days afterwards, as well as one of her closest supporters. I have been on the phone many, many hours with her supporters, talking to them and having them understand what occurred, and have made it abundantly clear that if she wanted to talk to me, that I'm here to talk.
But you've not ever dialed her number and said,
no, Greg,
oh, Peter Smulowitz, here's my cell phone.
No, I have not. But again, I have made it abundantly clear that I have respected her service to this community, to the people of Needham, and that I'm happy to talk at any time.
Now, what about Needham selectmen, which don't, as far as I know, none of them have endorsed you?
Yes, that's correct.
You reached out to them. Do you understand what this is, a Democratic core group of people?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's the issue there?
Well, you'll have to ask them personally where they stand on it, but I know I've had a number of conversations with many of the Needham selectmen.
Have you talked to every single one yet? Or has that been cut off at any point? Or have you spoken to all 5 individuals?
I have not spoken to all 5 individuals, nope, but I've spoken to a number of the selectmen.
Do you have regrets about the campaign flyer that you sent out?
Well, I think what's important about this is that I know that look, I know that this sometimes campaigns can get really contentious, really competitive, and whatever the decision is, I know my intent behind it was to demonstrate clearly that Beacon Hill isn't working, and that we cannot just have this attitude of go along to get along, because just standing in line behind the leadership is not going to work.
How do you
And you wanted to talk about standing up for what you believe in. Well, that's exactly what I did, which is that people in this district all across have told me that they've totally lost trust in the ability of Beacon Hill to work for them, because it thinks about itself, it thinks about some of the political favors, it thinks about insider politics, and it thinks about, if the leader votes this way, am I supposed to vote that way as well? Well, we can't have that approach. And that's what that flyer said, nothing more than that. And I will continue to stand behind that, because standing against leadership at times is going to be important.
How will you get things done then? Some people do those things because it helps them to get things done for their districts. How do you then get things done?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is that you can't always vote with leadership, right? In the State House, there have been legislators who have said, your job is to vote with the leadership. Yeah. But it's not that I'm saying you have to fight against leadership on everything we do. I'm not naive to that extent. I know I haven't been around politics for many years, but I'm realistic about things. And it's the same thing that I've done as a physician. You make compromises with patients who may not see a plan that you've offered to them as the right thing to do, but you also stand up for the right thing when you know that it's the right thing.
Have you spoken with Representative Harkins since you lost the?
She's a colleague. I see her in the State House every day.
Have you spoken to her about this election?
We have spoken a little bit about the election.
Sure, what that was about.
I do know that she suggested that I might be surprised at how many folks are looking at perhaps being able to support a candidate like me who has a proven track record, in spite of having an R after my name, of being able to provide great service to a district that she knows that we've shared in the past.
Has she helped you, giving you any advice or anything about how?
There's been no real advice, and I know that as a chair of the Town Democratic Committee, she doesn't feel that she's at liberty to do it, but she's not out there actively working against me, which I think is an important thing.
As many levels
Thank
as
you, Greg.
possible.